Twitch is suing users over hate raids. So the big issue that has come up regarding the hate raid scenario, which if you don't even know what that is, there is a phenomenon that's been going on for a couple months here on Twitch. Obviously, it's been going on overall longer and longer, but it is specifically been getting worse and worse and worse over the last couple months here on Twitch. Is a scenario where people will make a bunch of bot accounts, give them like Nazi imagery or racist names or whatever, and go raid a bunch of channels and spam their chat with hateful messages that are cloaked with alternative characters that become like, there's videos out there of you could use scripted bots to try to ban every alternative of a singular word, and like per word per like language classification, so just Latin-based languages per word would take 76 days to ban all alternative of words, which is ridiculous. So then you stack up words and the tools available aren't enough to stop it. And so this has been going on and creators are being harassed. And obviously there are things you could do. Like I have a button on my Stream Deck right now. If I get hate rated, that runs an ad, it locks down chat to sub only, it clears the chat, turns off alerts, all of those things. But you can't just, like, some streamers are being like hit to where literally from the second they go live until they go offline a few hours later, they are, the entire time they are live, they are being hit with this. And you can't just maintain a stream where you are locked down to sub-only mode and turning off alerts and raids and things like that, because these are the growth features on Twitch. These are the discovery and growth features. You can't just expect people to get rid of them and not use them moving forward. And so there's been this whole movement. There was the day off Twitch little boycott thing. There are all sorts of things going on to try to encourage Twitch to do better, because their responses to this have not been great. Admittedly, they gave more of a response than they did to like the requests for trans tags and stuff like that. But overall, they just keep saying, they're like, we swear, guys, we're working on it, but we can't talk about it. I think the reason that they haven't been able to talk about it is because they have been tied up with whatever legal stuff they have going on here. Because keep in mind, you don't get articles about Twitch or any big company suing anyone based purely on a singular, like, oh, we're doing it, it's live, tell the world. Like, there is a lot of legal stuff going on in the background that you can't talk about for a while. And while it may seem silly, and I think this is why people might disagree with me, like, you may think that you have, like, you can disconnect the talk about the tools and the things they're doing on the back end to fight it that are separate from the legal proceedings. They could be very intertwined. And so this could very much be the reason that all they've been able to say publicly is, for the most part, like, they have had some specifics, but overall it's mostly been, we can't really tell what we're doing yet. My biggest criticism was that their repeat, like, claims that if they talk about the, like, my criticism of their response is that if they talk about, if they claim, sorry, my words are, I'm trying to keep up with chat because chat is way more popping than usual. I'm trying to keep up with chat and talk at the same time, which is tough. My criticism was that if they were claiming that they could not talk about the tools or the steps that they're implementing to try to stop the hate raids, because that would allow the hate raids to keep up with them. Kind of like how anti-hacking stuff in games, like, you can't give a whole lot of details because people would just find ways around it. That if that's the method that they're going into for stopping hate raids, then the second they roll out the tools, they'll end up in the same spot, because the second they find out how they're getting banned, they're going to find workarounds anyway. So that particular angle hasn't made a whole lot of sense to me. So this might make more sense than, oh, we can't talk about it because that would just give them a way to work around it. Like, I hope that makes sense. Like, I feel like this is a more plausible explanation than them just not wanting people to work around them. So we'll see. We'll see if this suit even goes anywhere, because according to this, the two people that they have identified so far are in other countries, are in the Netherlands and Austria, which is not where Twitch is based. It's very difficult to get those kinds of lawsuits, from what I understand of my limited legal understanding. It is very difficult to pose these kinds of lawsuits internationally like this. But their actual objective here isn't necessarily, I mean, obviously they want to shut it down, but they specifically say here, we hope this complaint, oh, I'm not in the split screen view. We hope this complaint will shed light on the identity of the individuals behind this attack and the tools that they exploit, dissuading them from taking similar behavior. So effectively, they just want to expose these people. They have figured out two of the biggest people behind this who are running a lot of the bot tools and bot accounts, because you can literally just go to websites and like buy these bots to go bot raid someone. So this is kind of how piracy measures and things like that kind of go out. It's like, we can't necessarily go sue you, especially when you're in another country, but we can expose who you are and make it much more difficult for you to remain anonymous and things like that. So they haven't just released their personal identity yet, but they have, you know, they're taking the steps here and hoping the lawsuit would allow them to basically expose these people and expose the tools. And if they can expose the tools, they can do better to work against it. So I do think this has merit. I do think this is a more plausible explanation for why they haven't been able to say much. I do think this also, however, exposes the dire situation that this has been. Like, while 69% hype train, while there have been specific like feature requests that many of us in the community have made in terms of additional tools or enhancements to tools that Twitch can do to help make managing hate raids better. And a lot of those to me are very tangible. Like, I do think they can implement those. I think it exposes a super dire situation where Twitch like already knows how they're creating the bot accounts or already knows how this is happening, and they can't directly stop that. And so in order to keep it from happening, their step is literally to expose the tools themselves and hope to find, and the people making them, and hope to find a way to dissuade, you know, to make their lives more difficult so that they don't keep doing this thing, which is really fascinating to me, because that means that it's a worse situation than we realize, I think, in terms of like the Wakabot scenario. So pretty crazy. From what I understand, and I could be overinflating the value of a legal complaint like this, but from what I understand and from my perspective here, I don't think Twitch would go through the effort, the cost, and the publicity required here to make this public complaint, to effectively show vulnerability about this, if it wasn't a necessary step to stop it. Like, if they could just develop some tools and snap their fingers and Thanos snap the bots away, they would much rather do this and keep the PR bubble around it down. Because this suit makes it look like Twitch has lost control. The fact that they need to expose people that are doing the thing to try to get them to stop, or to try to get other authorities involved to stop them for them, means that Twitch is not the one in charge here. Twitch is not the one like in control of this situation. That's a big deal. I don't think right now, like, this article just kind of you get your bonsai buddy to do this article just came out today. The discussions have only just kind of started, but both a big deal of admitting, like, effectively they need a little bit of help or a little bit of the universe going their way to stop it, but also, as someone's pointed out in the YouTube chat, it's also to dissuade others. This is, we don't have a strong enough grasp on stopping the bots ourselves that we have to take off-site measures to stop the people making them, but also we need to put our foot down and make a big, you know, legal kerfuffle to make it clear that other people should not get involved. This could go nowhere. Like I said, finding, like, suing these people internationally and stuff probably is going to be difficult or fruitless. But I think there is, I think this is a big deal that really exposes how much of a struggle this has been for Twitch. And I don't say this out of a sense of like, we need to feel sorry for Twitch, or we need to be nicer about this, or how dare those people try to boycott when Twitch is struggling. You should just diversify your... None of that. Like, I think this is more of a, we're going to be dealing with this problem for a while kind of stance that I'm formulating. Like I said, this is all new. It's new to me. It just came out. Like, I'm still processing it myself. But this is the kind of scenario, like, Nintendo will quietly handle ROM hacks and send cease and desists and stop people hacking Switches and all sorts of stuff on their own. but it's rare that people end up with like serious prison time for it unless they're doing, or like, you know, it becomes a huge deal unless they're doing like serious bad modding things like that. Like we saw the Switch modders or whatever, they got in a whole lot of trouble. That was because Nintendo could not really stop them in any other way. I think this is a similar kind of thing. So, I don't know. I really think this, to me, reveals how huge of a deal that this is. And I think we're going to be sitting with this for a while. And I think we're going to have some discussions about, like, what it looks like to continue to, like, if you want to continue to maintain Twitch or support Twitch while this continues to go on. And I think that's kind of nerve-wracking. I don't know. It's weird. And I just wanted to add one little bit of clarification here, because I think a lot of people don't get this, but it's not just bots. Like, these aren't just bot accounts. These are people behind it. And I have been, along with a bunch of my community members on Discord, like reporting Twitter accounts and stuff, because the people like, this isn't just bots running rampant on Twitch and bots are everywhere, blah, blah, blah. These are targeted attacks. These are people who are going after these creators, and not just with the bot raids. They are also targeting the creators and doxing them and releasing their information and targeting them everywhere. And while to some that means that it's not Twitch's fault and they can't do anything about it, them being able to run unobstructed on Twitch is what allows them to continue this kind of thing. Like, it's hard to explain, and I know not everyone will agree with me, but this kind of thing effectively being allowed or tolerated or played out here on Twitch is what makes these people the target, not so much just them existing in general. But obviously people are going to do bad stuff everywhere. But just wanted to throw that out there as we wrap back around to some tech topics here